It's a call for the creatives in East Africa to push and to penetrate to this market.
Events are very important when it comes to Africa.
I dedicate myself to connect the region through art and culture, not only to set, but also to push our own agenda. What do we need to promote? What do we need to achieve?
From communication, how did you end up getting into culture?
We are neighbors, we cannot even share. We ended up like hating each other because we don't give a room to understand each other or to get to know each other. Not only entertainment, but also try to connect the youth and to have like a message to the society. How can we blend? How can we create a platform? This is one of the mission for me to be here.
Good afternoon. This is your Pan-African show called Afreeqa with your host Katsala Seifu. As usual, yet again, we come with another great guest for you from our neighbor. That is, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself?
I go by the name Malik Sufiani, and I'm from Tanzania.
Welcome.
Yes.
So, Malik, before I dive into all those wonderful questions I have for you, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, how come you're in Ethiopia, what you're doing in Ethiopia.
My background is from mass communications and media studies, but partly I did some studies based on management, especially for events and organization and profit organization, which are a cultural-based organization. And I've been across the continent and abroad. And yeah, I'm in Ethiopia now because since I came back last year from the region, I dedicate myself, I want to connect the region through art and culture. So I'm here to get to know how things are happening at this and Ethiopia in general.
Beautiful.
So we can connect with other countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Zanzibar, Burundi, Uganda, and Rwanda. Not forget Congo, which is I can say the giants of East Africa.
Exactly.
When it comes to arts and culture, due to the population and the size. And yeah, the structure of arts has been well developed, I can say, in Kinshasa particularly.
Oh, in Kinshasa. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned culture. One of the things I would like to ask you is how, from communication, how did you end up getting into culture? Because culture is so beautiful. It's one of my favorite subjects. And Africa is so diverse and rich with it. How did you dive into it? Because what you're doing on culture is something that I would love to do too.
Simply, I can say I grew up in the environment whereby I could see these cultural activities since I was a kid and going to school. To some point, it influenced me. It led me to the direction of culture because this is the way things have been communicated easily. The way the people dress, the way people dance, sing, and even food. You have certain food for a certain occasion, and you have certain music. Also, certain way of communicating. If there's a death somewhere in a certain neighborhood, you can easily apply the form of culture, which is like it can be in musical form or it can be drumming, even the way the people dress. That okay, now you can easily notice that there's certain occasion here. Someone is died, or someone is getting married. Apart from if someone is getting divorced, this you cannot tell through culture.
I know. Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. So I'm going to dive into to my questions.
You're welcome.
How do you balance your work across various cultural activities, research, and event management roles?
Because I have different projects in different period of time. So I know my calendar through a year that I have certain activities for certain months, and then after this I have another activity somewhere else.
Okay.
So it's like my calendar is already
Full.
set for a year. I know that, okay, I need to be in Addis from this time to this time. Okay. Then I need to be in, let's say, in Kigali. I need to be in Zanzibar for this period of time. I need to be in Dar es Salaam for this activity. So it's like I have some, because I have a network and the people that I worked before, this is how I get part of my work going through.
What inspired you to co-found Weekindi Live in Dar es Salaam, and how has it evolved since its inception?
It came through discussion with some friends, like talk, and just something was missing in terms of entertainment. Not only entertainment, but also try to connect the youth and to have like a message to the society. So Weekend Live came as a platform that connects the youth of East Africa.
Okay.
So there are some artists that came from other parts of because it was taking place in Dar es Salaam, so there's some people coming from Uganda, coming from Kenya to showcase their art, their music, and also it was involved the visual art part of it, because the paints can communicate, but without sound. So sometimes it's good to connect them with the sound and to see how people can interpret.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it came out of, like, you're in the city and something is missing, because
It was a need.
sometimes you go somewhere, you have the same program, you have the same people that perform. It's okay, I like that, of course, we have something that's going on, but then how can we upgrade? How can we try to involve other people and share skills and stories and knowledge? So it came out of this.
How long has it been since it's been out?
It was 2016, if I'm correct, and it's still running up to date.
It's still running. Okay.
Though I'm not there anymore, but I'm happy to see that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's fruitful.
Yeah, because we need also other people to come and take over. We don't need to dominate.
Absolutely.
And be like, okay, we always ask that we need to do this.
No.
So
we have to give it up to the next generation.
We need to create a platform which will invite other people to keep the movement.
Keep the fire burning.
Yeah.
Could you share some insights from your experiences in managing events like the Lake Natron Festival in Arusha and the East African Vibes concert in Dar es Salaam? Now, one of the reasons why I'm actually trying to get more information on events is I also do events.
Yes.
And, Ethiopia doesn't have as much concerts as we would love. And we're all struggling. All the event organizers or curators, as you say it, which I love better, are struggling, because when it comes, and one thing that I've understood or I've realized, because I have a radio show and a TV show that involves Africa, it's very hard to get sponsorship when it comes to culture. So sometimes I do it on my own, just to prove that this is something that is needed. But in order to continue, you need some kind of support. You can't do it all by yourself every year, if you understand what I mean.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
Events are very important when it comes to Africa. But one thing I found out between Kenya and Tanzania is when it comes to music concerts, we have nothing on you guys. We're not even a quarter gone, like how you have actually gone up musically, how it's promoted, how they've actually been able to cross over. So all that is a good thing, but how do we as a country, especially in Ethiopia, how do we get to be like you guys? How do we get to show our culture? How do we get to bring somebody from Zanzibar, Kenya, Tanzania, so they could come here and exchange cultures with Ethiopian musicians? How do we get to do that? And how do we sustain it is the question, really. Yeah. That's a loaded one, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because before I dive into your to the response, of your questions. Like, this is one of the mission for me to be here, like to see how can we blend, how can we create a platform that can, like to have this, because it's okay, it's very nice for artists to go to perform abroad in Europe, but we are neighbors. We cannot even share. We ended up like hating each other because we don't give a room to understand each other or to get to know each other. And maybe if we create a platform that will help us to navigate through one country to another, and this will be more better and even well, to some point, well connected, and it can also be, it can bring this corporate.
Absolutely, I believe so.
Companies to support this kind of movement, because now, for example, we have some companies which are working here and which are working in Ethiopia, also in Kenya, also they're linked in Tanzania. So if we want to create something for us to share resources and of course to share stories and to increase awareness, and also the improvement of the art itself, because then the artists are learning from others. It's an exchange. So you get this, I get this. We lose nothing. Also, the government, at some point, needs to consider this, like in terms of permits, in terms of movements for the artists and the creatives also, because it's very challenging when you want to bring a group here, but then you face a lot of restriction that we need to know A, B, C. Sometimes it's not necessary, but they just want to test how this is going to work. Because we have wrong people in the office, not all of them, but some of them. So they don't know this arts and culture scene. So then you need to start like to educate them. You need to start to kind of convincing them that, guys, we need to do this. This has been done back in the days smoothly, but nowadays it's becoming very challenging. We try to look each other as strangers.
I know.
That's okay. I need to come here and then I need to list the series of. I need to go the series of checking and
it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You should just be able to come and blend.
Yeah.
That's it. Just blend and move with the people.
Because the more we get connected, the more we understand each other, is the more we grow.
Yeah.
And it's better for the society at large.
We have to break down our barriers.
Yeah, I've been coming across some challenges and success, especially in the event curation. You bring an artist, and then at some point they stop him at the airport because maybe the National Arts Council or whatever doesn't need more detail. Not more details because you submit everything, but they just want to show that we exist. In other occasions, they support you, but on the other hand, some people, they don't know about this. And for them, they think that, okay, event is just, you guys are making a lot of money, and so you should give us something. Yeah, even though
something.
Yeah. Because they want to be part of that money, but when you tell them, they break down and it's like, okay,
you didn't make anything.
Yeah, it's like I just make like almost nothing. But then it's like this. I've come across stories with other event curators in the region. Somehow we share the same struggle.
So when did Lake Natron Festival in Arusha start, and when did East African Vibes concert? Is it something that goes on every year, or was it just a one time? Like, I think the festival goes on every year.
Yeah, ideal it was supposed to be an annual event.
Okay.
But then yet when it comes to people, and you tell them, okay, events it needs to have a certain phase. You need to have a certain series of events just to know that, okay, maybe after 5 editions or maybe 10 editions, now you can see, okay, now I need to be at this scale. You just enter and then you want to be on top. So it's like you can have all this imagination and references from other events, but if you dig deep the history, it took them so many years to reach where they are. So then you manage this event, and because you also try to have a conversation with your colleagues and partners, and then some they understand that it will take, but some they want immediate results. So you do like 1 or 2 editions, and then you leave it to other people, because other people, they think they can have energy to take it. And then this is how it goes. And also the challenge of funds, and in between they came this pandemic.
Yes,
so then
Corona
a lot of things
that,
also they just
it killed.
They phase out.
Events. It killed events. So as an artist manager for FIDQ, or is that how you pronounce his name? FIDQ.
His name is Farid Kubanda.
Farid.
But his artistic name is FIDQ.
Okay. How do you navigate the music industry and support your clients' careers at the same time?
To me, it was more like the transition of, because most of the artists, like, I can say this, let me call like young generation, they're more into not a lot of them of course in mainstream, not a lot of them are like doing like live set music. So for me, it was more like to take the direction of live set, live performance music, and also like to connect with festivals and like music markets and conferences. So it was more in that area.
How do you approach the curation and coordination of events like, for example, Jumbo Fashion Affair and music festivals in Arusha to ensure unique and memorable experiences for your audiences?
First, you need to understand your audience. This is number one. And then you need to check what is missing, because a lot of people are doing events. So you need to, the uniqueness, what is missing, what are you selling, what are you promoting? So for such kind of events, it's more like we were selling experience. Like we want people to come and to be part of the event, not just to be like
an attendee.
Yeah, attendee. Like you just come there and sit, and then that's it. You let the artists and activity continue, and you just like on your phone, maybe chatting. So it's like you give the people experience because this is what is missing. Most of the events you go and it's like it's the same.
Exactly.
It's the usual.
Yeah.
Program.
Exactly.
Activities
Nothing
like
different.
The same.
Yeah, it's all the same. As a panelist at the WOMAC in Spain, how do you see the representation of East African content evolving on the global stage? And what opportunities do you see for the region's artists and cultural producers?
I can say a lot of things happened during this period of time for the conference. And there's a very interesting topics and people to meet and companies like in music business. And there's one I observed, like couple of few challenges. The representation of I can say, let me speak in terms on the East African side, because it was less represented compared to the West and North
of Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's number one, and even people you meet and you tell them, okay, I'm from this country, and people like they don't really know. Yeah, they don't know. Then you need to first you need also to explain a little bit about the country, but it's not like when you say I'm from Nigeria and it's like everybody like Nigeria. It's there on the news and then on the map it's there.
Wow, yeah, because now they've
yeah. So it was like compared the population of East Africa, which is rising, and especially the youth.
Yeah.
I felt like it was less represented, but then there was certain issues like travel arrangements and visa and all these things. These are also, to me, I consider that to be some of the things which slow down or hindrance to the participation of most people from East. Because I remember in that conference, we were only 3 or 4.
From East Africa?
Yeah, in the gathering of maybe 2,000 people.
Wow. So why do you think we're underrepresented?
As I said, number one, I think is because they travel.
The restrictions,
travel restriction,
but then,
of course,
besides the travel,
yeah.
because now when you think of the West African, and I'm just going to specifically talk about musically,
yes,
they've crossed over, but they crossed over not because they went there to actually perform. Eventually, they did.
Yeah.
But because of all this digital, the music traveling digitally became easier to get. So why are we underrepresented when it comes to that?
Yeah, I can say the digital part works, but also the colonial background of these countries. It's like you have the French that they dominate the big part of the north and west. So it's like musical, they were somehow exposed, like the bookers and people were like, this is what they receive. Like to them it was, even sometimes when I'm in France, when you mention East Africa, they know less. It's like, because, I mean, we were not part of this colonial ties with them. So this also is something which somehow accelerate or somehow make people relate that, okay, we can easily, we know a little bit, or we know more about this side than the way we know about East Africa. So it's like, to me, it's a call for us, the creatives in the East Africa, to try to push and try to penetrate to this market. Because yes, we have this, I'll use this term, like the cultural organizations that represent the countries, like the British Council, the Alliance Française, Goethe Institute, and so on. But they come with our own agenda. Okay. So we are just receiving. So we need to set agendas for ourselves.
So we need to come with our own agenda.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Beautiful.
So otherwise we're going to find ourselves conditioned. Like, okay, we can do this, but you need to make sure that so and so involved. Even though like that person has no connection to that thing you want to do, but you need to bring a certain element. So it's, to some point it goes back where it started back in the days. So we need to set our own agendas. We need to push, not only to set, but also to push our own agenda. What do we need to promote? What do we need to achieve? And then we can try to find a balance with what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. So Absolutely. It doesn't mean that because you come here and then you fund this and you're expecting things to be according to your way. So a lot of projects at some point died because with that, such kind of I can say marriage, it's not clear. So it's like, okay, you can see for a certain period of time and then the project fades out. And you even ask yourself, what happened to this? And then you have a series of answers which are not related. So to me, like at Womex, actually it is a good platform to some point, especially if you know what you want to achieve and what you want to navigate. But otherwise it's going to be the same talk when the creatives and people who are working in this arts and entertainment industry meet and talk, and then the talk just end there and nothing moves.
When was the Womex?
It was 2016.
2016. October. So have you seen anything come out of that?
I went. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
There was some collaboration. There were some people I met, and we did some work together through this gathering.
Okay.
And there are some people still in touch, up to date.
Brilliant.
So, yes, but it's like you need to go there, especially to know what you want to, what you want to achieve.
Could you share a particular challenging or memorable experience you faced as an event manager and how you overcame it? Because we're all event curators. I mean, we've all had something. I mean,
Yeah.
I shouldn't say we've all had something. We all have something at each event. There's always something that happens, and it's always your way
Yeah.
of overcoming that obstacle.
Yeah,
There were plenty.
Yeah.
But that smile says plenty.
yeah, but to me, I took it as a lesson. I was
Yeah.
like mostly focused to what I want to achieve with my team, what I want to share with the audience. So sometimes you may find yourself the challenges with the sound and sound provider, and even some point you bring some artists and then they reach at the airport, and then certain officers, they're like, okay,
You're not
need
coming
this.
in today.
Yeah, it's like, do we need? So it happens like this, and sometimes you have big names of artists that you bring in, and so you need to be there, even if that you delegate this to somebody else. They'll also maybe try to go, who is responsible for this? Then you need to sometimes to show up. You need to, and others like the minor, that you appear to the venue and then this is missing. The toilets are not like clean, or maybe water sometimes. So it's like you find this at the last minute, then you want to execute the event. So technical is, I've been, because as I said that I did, so I have a knowledge of sound and yeah. So I can oversee this easily.
Technical things, yeah.
And the media, publicity, so all these are.
Okay. What role do you believe cultural events and festivals play in promoting cross-cultural understanding and appreciation, particularly in the context